Hey everybody, it's me, Andy.
And I'm Sean.
And this is the Commander's Brew.
This week, Flippin' Coins.
Flippin' coins. Welcome back everybody. It's episode 149 of the Commander's Brew Commander Podcast. What's happening?
Fine.
Yeah, how you doing, Sean? Feeling fine at 49 or what?
Feeling fine at 49.
Feeling fine at 149.
Yeah, that's great. If you heard the intro, you heard this is a Flippin' Coin episode, but I was like kind of unfortunate it's not 150 because coins I feel are like 50-50s, so I wanted the 50 on there, but that's just how the math was so close.
We did this one too early.
But like
we messed up.
We'll get to
150. You have 150% chance of hitting the coin flip that you want.
Yes.
Unless you have Krark's Thumb, which we will talk about.
No, we'll talk about all of it. We'll talk about prices. We'll talk about everything, but we'll also talk about our sponsors, the patrons, right? They're the best. You're the best. Listening, so cool. Can't wait to enjoy hanging out with you. GP Vegas is coming up, so on our Discord there, please let us know which of you will be in GP Vegas so we can say hello to, and if we got some stickers, I'll throw you a sticker. We got to thank Ultimate Guard, who makes sleeves and boxes, including the box The Flippin' Tray, good for your Flippin' Coins deck, and of course the Wizard Tower, wizardtower.com. Let's hear an ad from them now. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Battlebond Arena. Today, we'll be seeing a whole bunch of two-headed giants fight with each other. And remember, today is free Chakram Day. We're giving a free Chakram to everybody in the audience. But please, don't throw your Chakrams into the crowd, or into the field, or at the vendors, or at anybody, really. If you ask me, it was a bad idea to give away weapons on our free giveaway. That's right, the first 3,000 fans through the gates get a free chakram to throw. No, not to throw. Why are we? It's just branded. It's branded with the logo. Anyway, it's also branded with the logo of the Wizard's Tower, wizardtower.com. If you go and order Magic singles and use coupon code Summer of Brews, you'll get an extra 5% off. And if you order $15 or more in singles, they'll ship it anywhere for free to Canada. Plus, you get 3% kickback on your next order. Now, we're almost ready to start the brawls. Let's hope no one gets sliced to bits with chakrams.
Oh, yeah. Great. A real situation.
I know it becomes a real situation. That happens. Have you ever been to one of those games here at like the Skydome or something?
Yeah, when you go out to the game and then you're in a bit of an arena there, sort of.
Yeah, and they hand out just like a bad handout thing that just eventually causes
and
chaos.
you just throw it at the players and stuff like like Rotten Tomato Day. Why would they have this? Yeah, sure.
Yeah, well, so likewise, why would they have Chakram Day?
Yeah, right, Chakram Day. It's going to really confuse the retriever, I bet. But, thanks for that ad. There it is. Like Sean mentioned, GP Vegas coming up. We'll be there over the span of a few days, although not necessarily together very much. We're actually Sean and I only overlap at GP Vegas for a day.
Yeah.
Which is weird because of our weird schedules that are happening. Stuff we had to get back for and stuff we had to stay for.
Right. And so in any case, you can get a taste of Commander's Brew the whole GP Vegas.
That's right. One of us will always be there and two of us will be there on Saturday. So look that up. I just wanted to say thanks to everyone, just in addition to the normal like shout outs we do for patrons and all that, just to everyone who's been really coming into the Twitch stream lately and watching and commenting on YouTube and everything. That stuff's been real helpful, and if you've done that in the past while, thank you very much, and thanks for just being consistent helpers. When we're in thanks, Sarah. When we're in our Twitch streams and we're playing limited, it actually really helps out a ton. And we just got our first ever limited, like in the intermediate queues trophy last week, and that was due in part to a lot of the help from the listeners. It was great.
Yep, on to the competitive leagues.
Yeah, right. And we won one, and now we're going on up because we're now experts, and that's all there is to it.
Not true.
Did you get to play any Battlebond over the weekend there?
No, I didn't. I had to work like ridiculous hours, so I missed all of it.
I was away at a friend's cottage, so I didn't. I also didn't partake in any Battlebond, which is a bummer because I did want to experience the two-headed giant environment. I mean, not to say we can't. I mean, maybe we should pick up a box of this, perhaps from Wizard's Tower, and draft it with our friends. That sounds like a decent idea.
Yeah.
But we talk about Battlebond not only because we were given a Battlebond preview, as you guys saw a little while ago, but we're building around our first Battlebond Legends today.
We got the coin flippers.
That is correct. As you may have guessed, Flippin' Coins episode will feature the two legendary creatures from Battlebond that actually care about flipping coins around. And that would be Okaun, Eye of Chaos, the 4 and a red for the 3/3 partner. Partners with Zndrsplt, and at the beginning of combat on your turn, flip a coin until you lose a flip, and then whenever a player wins a coin flip, double Okaun's power and toughness until end of turn. That alone is quite powerful. And looking
that gets out of hand.
Yeah, and looking at the way how to build this deck, like most coin flip cards are in red anyways. You could just build an Okaun deck and have it be very, very powerful. But we like the idea of partnering these guys up. So you got big Okaun, and then you got little Zndrsplt. You want to read them?
He's so little.
You want to read Zndrsplt?
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Yes. I was distracted by I'm again distracted by the T-shirt. I'm like, what is on Zndrsplt's T-shirt? Is it a letter P? Probably not. Anyway, Zndrsplt Eye of Wisdom is 4 and a blue for a legendary homunculus, 1/4, and partners with Okaun, as we said. And at the beginning of your combat, flip a coin until you lose a flip. Whenever a player wins a coin flip, draw a card. So both of these two are flipping coins together. But if you're winning flips, I guess if you get to flip 2 coins, we can assume statistically you'll win one of them, right?
Right.
So one of them you'll have to stop after the first one fails, but the other one will win. So presumably, statistically, if both of these are out, you'll draw 1 card, and Okaun will be a 6/6. Pretty reliably every turn. And then there's those turns where, like, if you get a couple of successes, then it just gets ridiculous.
Yeah, exactly. So you want to get both of these guys out for sure at the same time. I will say this, that Zndrsplt is the best guy to get out earlier, although they both cost 5, so it really depends on what's happening in your game. But ideally, you want Zndrsplt first to draw you a couple cards, draw you into some of the additional coin flipping cards, and then you put down Okaun and get him really big, and then attack in for hopefully for the win, the kill. It only takes a couple of coin flips to get Okaun absolutely massive. It only takes 3 wins to get him, so you get 6, then 12, then 24.
Wow.
And it's not, despite the 50-50 nature of a coin flip, it shouldn't be that hard for you to win 3 coin flips in a turn, especially if you already have these guys out on your upkeep, right? But this is what we're doing. We're brewing around flipping coins. We're getting the new partners with mechanics, so you can have both of these guys in your command zone. If for some reason you let one of them get tucked into your deck, again, you have to let that happen. Casting one of them will just pull the other one out. So actually, it might be, if anyone ever tried to tuck one of your partners, like, go for it. Let him have it, and then you can cast your other guy to get him out.
Oh, neat.
That's a real corner case that we don't really need to talk about. But yeah, that's the strategy. We're going to get these guys out, and then obviously Okaun's your finisher, whereas Zndrsplt is your guy that lets it all happen. So let's start talking about a couple cards that will flip you some coins. The first one I want to talk about is Crazed Fire Cat. It's a big one. It's cost 7. It's 5 red. And it's a creature. It's a cat. It's an elemental cat, actually. And it's a 4/4 that says, when Crazed Fire Cat enters the battlefield, flip a coin until you lose a flip, and then put a 1/1 counter on Crazed Fire Cat for each flip you win. So it costs a lot. And just to show you how when Magic was talking and using these the coin flip mechanic a lot, like back in the day of, say, what set is this from? Torment.
This is Torment.
This was a lot so you had to pay 7/7 for a 7 mana for a 4/4 that like probably only gets one counter, 2 at the most, probably, right? So you're paying 7 mana for probably a 5/5 or maybe a 6/6. That like ability was costed really highly, it seems. So just to set you up and let you know, like that the flip a coin until you lose a flip thing is worth a lot in the old days, and it just comes tacked onto your commanders this way. So it really is the first time in Magic's history that we've had a real like a coin flipping commander pair or anyone with such a powerful coin flipping ability built right into them that just happens, right? So otherwise you had to pay like a lot of mana and for like and then to get an underpowered creature for it. So yeah, that's why I wanted to talk about this guy first. But Crazed Fire Cat is pretty good in this deck. Despite the 7 mana, you do get to flip a bunch of coins, hopefully. And hopefully draw a bunch of cards and make Okaun very big.
Next up is Creepy Doll. 5 generic for an artifact creature construct. 1/1. Creepy Doll is indestructible. Whenever Creepy Doll deals combat damage to a creature, flip a coin. If you win the flip, destroy that creature. Creepy Doll is quite a good kind of, they call them rattlesnake cards, like cards that prevent your opponents from attacking you because there's something dangerous there. It's indestructible, and there's a 50-50 chance it'll destroy whatever it blocks, as long as it is able to do some combat damage to it. But so, and then if you were to attack with your Creepy Doll, they would likely just let it in for 1. Yeah. So at the very least, it's a great creature to have on the battlefield to make people attack elsewhere, which we love in multiplayer Commander. If it's down to heads up, then it's just like, well, do you want to give me a bunch of stuff, or do you want to, try to tussle this with yourself?
Yeah, really, Creepy Doll is an example of the sort of thematic side of this deck, right? So when you go looking through and you want to build your Okaun and Zndrsplt deck, you're going to run across cards like Crazed Fire Cat, which are like, oh, I'll get a couple coin flips off of this. That's really great. And then you'll run across cards like Creepy Doll, where you're like, oh, realistically, this will never flip a coin when I want it to, ever, really, right? So like, you want to be flipping coins on your turn. So that Okaun gets big, right? And then Zndrsplt's the kind of incidental card draw that you get from it. But Creepy Doll is definitely more the thematic side from it. So, this is a card where it says flip a coin on it. So you put it in the deck. And there's a lot of those. There's a lot of cards that are like, well, this card isn't really that good or helpful or anything, but we'll put it in. But, however, Creepy Doll does have the upside of like having this weird death touch side to it, right? So actually, Creepy Doll is one of the more functional thematic cards. So it's not going to help Okaun ever. But you might get if you have Zndrsplt out and someone attacks into you, I don't know why they would, because then the creature's probably going to die and you will draw a card from it. So it's just a very good, like you said, deterrent for attacks, and it's on theme because it flips a coin. Next, kind of a similar card in Goblin Archaeologist, 1 and a red for a 1/2 Goblin Artificer. This one has an activated ability of pay red and tap it to flip a coin. If you win the flip, destroy target artifact and untap Goblin Archaeologist. If you lose the flip, sacrifice Goblin Archaeologist. So this is another theme that's going to come up a lot. A lot of the coin flip creatures that we'll see in red have this thing where it's like, if you win the flip, sweet effect. If you lose, it's dead. It's straight up dead, and that's it. So that's a bummer, because we want to be flipping coins a lot, right? We want to do a lot of coin flipping. So having these one-off things, unfortunately, though, is kind of the only thing you have. There's enough coin flip cards to make a deck, but are they any good? I don't know. However, Okaun and Zndrsplt are really the glue that holds the deck together, so they kind of make those cards a bit better, which is why you are running things like this. So Goblin Archaeologist will hopefully nab an artifact when when you activate it, and maybe give you a shot at one more. Or just the thing that you had to pay 1 and kill it, which is a bummer. But you still do get the coin flip out of it, which is kind of all you cared about anyway, so that's okay.
Great. Next up, this is a real workhorse here, Karplusan Minotaur. 2 red for a Minotaur Warrior that's 3/3. I wonder if we put this in our Minotaur's tribal deck. I hope we did.
I think we did. Really I think because I remember this art like pretty seriously, so I'm pretty sure we did.
So here's multiple coin flips. It has cumulative upkeep, flip a coin. So you're going to flip more and more coins every turn that this is on the battlefield. Whenever you win a coin flip, Karplusan Minotaur deals 1 damage to target creature or player. That includes Okaun's coin flips. That includes Zndrsplt's coin flips. But whenever you lose a coin flip, Karplusan Minotaur deals 1 damage to target creature or player of an opponent's choice. So it'll be very hard to take down Okaun with this because its power will be doubling. It'll always stay out of range. But there may be a world where they can eventually ping down Zndrsplt.
Zndrsplt's a 1/4, so it's also kind of hard to get him with this. But you're right.
It's tough.
Like you need to lose 4. You need to somehow lose 4 coin flips.
We can assume once you get to 8 coin flips, that's when Zndrsplt will go. But at that point, it's like once we're flipping 8 coins, we got a lot of cool stuff going on.
Exactly. So yeah, this is a great card in this deck. The cumulative upkeep, like you were saying, like kind of doesn't really act as a downside until you get to that 3, and then if you lose all 3, they'll probably kill your Karplusan Minotaur. But that's statistically unlikely to happen. So you're probably looking at this guy sitting on the battlefield, obviously without any other sort of removal, until around turn like 5, and in which case it starts to become more likely that it's going to kill itself. But yeah, this is a workhorse, and as a little bit of a preview of what has happened to this deck since Zndrsplt and Okaun have come out, this card is now expensive. I mean, expensive for what it was, because there's no way this card was over $1 before, and now it's $3. So just a little bit of a sneak preview.
5 and up to 5. Like it's like.
Oh yeah, sorry, I'm reading from this. I'm not even looking at the actual site that cares about money, because. As much as I love Scryfall, their pricing side isn't always bang on, you know?
Right.
In fact, it's like often just like it'll be like a couple days behind the other sites, and maybe that's something with their algorithm or whatever. But so yeah, Karplusan Minotaur is more like a $5 card now, and before it was like I don't know, a dollar or two. Anyways,
$1.50.
Yeah. Moving on, though, we have a card called Frenetic Liver, which is 1 and a blue and a red. That's right, we're putting a sliver in this deck because this one says it's 2/2. It's a sliver, and it says all slivers have pay 0 if this permanent is on the battlefield, which is so weird. Flip a coin. If you win the flip, exile this permanent and return it to the battlefield under its owner's control at the beginning of the next end step. If you lose the flip, sacrifice it. So it's a similar thing, right? So like you pay to flip a coin, and then if you lose it, you pitch it, and if you win, whatever. This effect is that it exiles itself, it blinks itself.
Wait, can I ask you a rules question? Does this make sense?
Yeah, I think it's probably about what I'm about to say. I think
infinite coin flips.
Yeah, you can just flip as many coins as you want. You stack the triggers.
Right. So if you have Karplusan Minotaur out and more life than your opponent, you can probably just be like, I will put like.
But actually, maybe you can't, and this is why what you're saying right now is a good question. So it has the text: if this permanent is on the battlefield, flip a coin.
Oh, so you can hit the trigger on as many times as you want,
but it won't
flipping a coin is not part of the cost. Flipping a coin is part of the resolution, and in that the first one that resolves, it will not be in play anymore.
Right.
So you will not be able to flip anymore.
You won't be able to stack the triggers to flip. So that's why that trigger's there. That's why that word is there, or those words, I should say. So it does count. It does care about whether or not this thing is there. However, this is a free coin flip every turn, which is something. And if you, and I guess that's kind of it. I mean, we just want coin flips, and if it comes on a 3-mana 2/2 where you can only do it once a turn, guess what? We'll take it. Because sometimes all you need is that extra coin flip to turn Okaun from a 12/12 into a 24/24, and then all of a sudden he's swinging for lethal at anyone who can't block him.
Great. And then remember Boom Pile?
Oh, yeah.
We thought this was way worse than Nevinyrral's Disc, but look at this. 4 generic for an artifact, and it says tap, flip a coin. If you win the flip, destroy all non-land permanents, including Boom Pile itself. So it's a very, like, Nevinyrral's Disc-esque kind of thing, only it's not guaranteed, which is why we frowned upon it. But now we actually kind of want to lose so we can keep flipping.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, that's exactly it, right? Sometimes you want to lose with Boom Pile, and there's also going to be places where you want to win. This is definitely one of those thematic cards because if you really wanted board wipes, you can just put in reliable board wipes. But Boom Pile it's fun to have a deck where you actually want this card in it. So that's neat. So there's tons of Flippin' Coin cards. There's lots of them. Are most of them good? No. Most of them are quite bad, as we just learned with Frenetic Liver. I definitely did think that you could just keep flipping coins forever, but I guess you can't.
Oh, man. Wouldn't that be a fun... I mean, I guess that's not a fun game when you think about it, but if you had more life than your opponent, you'd be like, I'm at 40. What are you at? 36. Okay, 40 plus 36 is 76. I'm going to flip 76 coins with Karpalooza Minotaur out. One of us will die first.
I'm going to flip 1,000,000 coins and just see which one of us dies first. Yeah. Yeah, that's all you have to do. But like I said, the main key to this deck is just the coin flipping in general. Hold on one sec. Can you hear that? Can you hear?
No.
It's pretty loud.
I will take this opportunity to eat more olives.
Never mind, I'm just going to close the door. Okay. So yeah, like I was saying, the key is that we just flip the coin. So we'll take a couple bad coin flip cards. That's no problem at all. It's on theme. It's lots of fun. It's kind of a chaosy deck because of all these coin flipping anyway. But the reason we want to flip coins, no matter how, we don't care how we do it or anything, is because of Okaun and his massive doubling power ability, which is very, very powerful. So we got to support Okaun getting through and being able to kill people with big commander damage. And the way we're going to do that is with a couple of neat cards like Distortion Strike. 1 blue for a sorcery that says target creature gets +1/+0 until end of turn and can't be blocked this turn. And then it has Rebound. Simple, sneak him through, get him, he can't be blocked. He's just going to be a nightmare for your opponents if they can't get rid of him, if they can't do something.
Yep.
There's more. What's another one here?
Slip Through Space. Same deal. It's 1 blue for a sorcery. Devoid. Target creature can't be blocked this turn, but you draw a card this time. Instead of Rebound, you draw another card.
Yep, so very, very similar effect. And then even yet another similar effect is Veil of Secrecy, which is 1 and a blue for target creature is unblockable. It's an instant, this one. Its target creature is unblockable and can't be the target of spells or abilities this turn. So this one also doubles as a save from targeted removal spell, which is kind of cool. And it has Splice onto Arcane, which is interesting because so this Splice onto Arcane was return a blue creature you control to its owner's hand. So
you need to be casting another arcane spell,
right? Yeah.
With this in your hand, and you can the way our Splice onto Arcane works is basically just put the words of this spell at the bottom of the words of the other spell you splice it onto, but you keep this card in your hand.
Right.
So for the price of returning a blue creature, are there any other arcane spells? I'm always curious about that because I know...
we know Kodama's Reach is the one I think most used in Commander.
Yeah, that's the most famous arcane spell. I'm going to look up other famous arcane spells that we might accidentally just be using.
That's a good move. Because the only reason I mention it is just because this seems like a pretty reasonable cost for Splice onto Arcane. This actually is pretty easy. All you have to do is bounce a blue creature. I mean, a lot of times that's a thing you want to do anyway. So for some reason you had some arcane spells, this actually might come into play. It's unlikely to, but Veil of Secrecy is actually a pretty sweet little card. You can almost think of it as a modal card just because the instant speed given it Shroud as well as the unblockable. You can use that on defense or on offense. So it's pretty cool.
Bad news, not a lot of arcane spells.
Yeah, there's not really any good ones.
I mean, Desperate Ritual, if you are in red and you're kind of doing stormy stuff. There's what is it? Reach Through Mists, draw a card.
Yeah, these aren't really helpful.
No, there isn't. I can't see any interesting.
Splice onto Arcane is definitely not a singleton like thing. Like you want to be able to run multiple copies of the Splice onto Arcane and the Arcane spells, right? Like I want to run 4 of something so that that way I'll be able to, but like in Commander, I don't think it's a real thing.
Agreed.
Let's move on though. This one I just called Neat Moves, and I called it Neat Moves because there's other things that this deck does because of the nature of the coin flipping cards that you actually want to support a little bit. So the first one is that for some reason it often cares about goblins and it wants lots of goblins, and there just so happens that a lot of the creatures that affect coin flips or that coin flip themselves are goblins. Like our Goblin Archaeologist we just read. So, you know what? Let's throw in Krenko.
Yeah.
Krenko Mob Boss. Absolutely very, very powerful commander. Great card. 2 and 2 red for a 3/3 legendary Goblin Warrior. Tap, create X 1/1 red Goblin creature tokens, where X is the number of goblins you control. You're not going to win with any kind of crazy combo like Krenko usually is known for, like with Perforos or anything like that. But there are actual cards in here that care about like the number of blockers and things like that. So like if you might just incidentally make a bunch of goblins with Krenko, and then as they're all attacking, and you might like be able to slip Okaun through, well, there's cards that are like instant, flip a bunch of coins for every creature that's being blocked or something. So you can just instant speed flip like 6 coins, and then all of a sudden Okaun is big enough to kill someone. So Krenko actually ends up being like kind of cool. And like I said, there are a lot of incidental goblins in this deck. So you're probably not just putting Krenko down as your lone goblin. There actually might be 2 or 3 other ones kicking around.
Such as Zadahedron Grinder, 3 and a red, legendary goblin ally, 3/3. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery that targets only Zada, copy it for each other creature you control. Yeah, great.
Yeah.
So like you're talking about your Distortion Strike type of stuff, you can give it to everybody.
Exactly. Distortion Strike, Slip Through Space, these things, especially there's a couple little ones that like draw you a card. I think there's even there's a red one in here that's like something about coin flipping, and then you draw a card after, but you target a creature, so like that can make you draw lots. This is just a little bit of this extra synergy for this kind of like wide goblin side of things, which isn't like I didn't go too hard on it. I only put in a couple things like Zada and Krenko that actually will still work with things like Okaun and the coin flipping synergies here. So yeah, if there's something that's like flip a coin and target a creature, well, targeting Zada is the perfect thing to do there, because then you'll be able to flip many coins. And yeah, draw a bunch of cards incidentally sometimes. So Zada actually works out okay in this deck. And another neat move is to cast Godo Bando Warlord, 5 and a red for a 3/3 legendary human barbarian. When Godo enters the battlefield, you may search your library for an equipment card, put on the battlefield. If you do, shuffle your library. Very strong ability in this deck, because as you'll see with the 3 stars, one of the 3 stars is an equipment. Whenever Godo attacks for the first time each turn, untap it, and all samurai you control. After this phase, there's an additional combat phase. So there's an additional combat phase. I guess you only untap samurai. That's weird.
Yeah, that's the tough part about Godo. It doesn't help your whole team.
Doesn't help your whole team, but it certainly does tutor us up a sweet artifact, which is kind of the only reason he's in the deck anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But yeah, because we want to slip Okaun through, we want to protect them, it's really good to go grab a Boots, a Greaves, for example, with Godo, slide it over to our commander, and yeah, all of a sudden we've got this neat suited up Okaun that's tough to deal with.
So for this next category, we want to say that, like, for those of you who don't know, we we joined Phil and some of the gang and to talk about all the unmander cards and like evaluating them all for cards. So silver border cards delve into coin flipping quite a bit. So of course the temptation to dive in there is very strong.
Yeah.
And some just to give you the short version, some silver border cards break the rules in such strange ways, like dexterity cards and things, where it just doesn't make sense to add them in. But a lot of silver border cards are just like, this card is fine and it's not broken. It's just does a weird kind of thing like flipping coins that they don't like to overload. So it becomes a case where if your playgroup will permit these silver border cards just because they're coin flip cards, they're not in there for like any weird combos or to make people put their chins on the table or anything like that. So, like they actually seem very reasonable and make this deck way more fun. So if your playgroup votes against that, that means they hate fun.
Yeah, and these... especially, like, I really do believe that these... it's only 3 cards. I do believe these 3 cards are fully, like anyone who's not okay with these, there is... I think that they need to, like, chill out. You know what I mean? Like, these...
they hate fun.
These are not cards that break any rules of Magic or anything. These are cards that are simply good in the... good to decent in the coin flipping deck, and we just wanted to get some more of those types of cards. So let's take a look here.
Yeah, you're running that Fire Cat. Come on, give us a break.
Yeah, right? I know. So why don't you take the first, like, this little combo here?
Okay, so every thingamajig is an artifact for 5 generic, and for 1 generic, you get to flip a coin. So right away, we get to flip as many coins as we want to. This is amazing. If you win the flip, add colorless to your mana pool. Activate this ability only anytime you could cast an instant. So here is the first way we've seen where we can just on demand flip as many coins as we have mana for.
I love that text of activate this ability only anytime you could cast an instant. That's redundant, right? Like, that's a joke.
Are they being silly?
And I think it's because on the original card that has this text on it, which is Mana Screw, it says that, and I think it's a joke.
Okay.
I think.
Okay.
I mean, like, I could be wrong. Like, that could have some other kind of implications. Like,
I don't know.
But I think
you're gonna get 2 mana.
Joke. Yeah.
You're gonna get 2 mana every other turn, so that basically you're gonna pay 1 and win 2 mana. You're gonna pay 1 and lose it. So you kind of break even and sort of get to flip infinite coins if the statistical averages play out. Very interesting.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun to just flip a ton of coins with it. Yeah.
Then it says 3 generic and tap. Target player discards a card. Activate this ability only during your turn. This one will tap it. Or X, every thingamajig becomes an XX construct artifact creature until end of turn. So if you can get infinite mana, this becomes an infinitely big creature. So obviously, that's a thing that could happen, but we're not there to, do that. But then there's also Mana Screw, 1 generic for an artifact, and for 1, flip a coin. If you win the flip, pay 2, add 2 to your mana pool, play this ability only anytime you can play an instant. Yeah, that has to be the joke.
Yeah, I think the joke is that usually you say that for anytime you can play a sorcery, and they just did it here because it's a fun joke. So Mana Screw is the original card. Everything Majig is the, like, modal artifact that was in the most recent unset. And there are 6 versions of everything in Majig. So make sure if you're gonna go grab this card, you are getting the right one, because they are all named the same. So make sure you're getting the flip a coin one, because that's the only one you care about in this deck. And yeah, but this card is very powerful in this. These cards are very powerful in this deck, right? Like you said, 1 generic to just flip a coin. Even if there was no other text, 1 generic, flip a coin. That is worth it in this deck.
So worth it.
If you have either of your commanders out, it's completely worth it. Let alone the fact that you can gain 2 mana from it and then just do it again. It's pretty sweet. It's actually, like, it might be, like, kind of broken a little bit in the deck, so I guess if you play against your opponents once and they're like, okay, but you have to take out those silver border cards because you did just do that for infinite mana, it's like, yeah, okay, I will.
Well, you're not going to get infinite mana, but you'll get infinite coin flips.
Sorry, that's actually what I meant. I did mean just, like, I got to flip 1,000 coins, but, like, there's a point where, like, it doesn't really matter with Okaun, but with Zndrsplt you do draw a lot of cards this way. Okay, let's take a look at the next one, which is Goblin Bookie. This one's amazing. This is really fun. 1 red for a 1/1. It's a goblin, and you pay a red and tap them, and you can reflip any coin or reroll any die. So, obviously this is great, right? So this counts as an additional coin flip. Hopefully you can, just all the things that you would want out of reflipping a coin. Hopefully it will land on the side you want this time. Yeah, it's great. It just turns any 1 coin flip into another one, which is sweet. Now,
does it count the first one?
I would imagine, because it's anytime you flip a coin, right? Whenever a player flips a coin.
So, because they say, like, flip a coin until you lose the flip.
Right. So, like, each one of those individual coin flips is a flip.
Right, but so let's say I flip a coin and I lose the flip, so I have to stop flipping.
Yeah, you can reflip that one.
But have I still stopped flipping?
No.
Or...
Right? Because it's reflipping that one. You're redoing that last one. So that, you know what I mean? I think it's pretty straightforward.
I mean, it is straightforward, but I don't know. Will the first coin flip resolve or will it not resolve?
Well, I'm guessing no because it says reflip it.
So you won't get any effects from the first flip.
It will still count as you flipping a coin though. It's just the result.
Either,
it's the result.
Either it counts or it doesn't.
No.
Right?
It's the
reflipping.
No, I think it's the result that is the thing you're thinking about, right? So like, did you flip a coin? Yes. What was the result? Well, we don't get a result from this one because I get to reflip it.
But if you flipped it, there is a result.
No, not necessarily. Goblin now when you have Goblin Bookie, you can change the new result to being flip another coin essentially. But you still did flip that coin, you know what I mean?
Right, but see, you're kind of bouncing back and forth. What I'm trying to get at is like, so either I flipped it or I didn't, right?
Yeah, you did.
If I flipped it, so I did flip it. So we're going to do whatever it says. And
that's
then Goblin
the part
Bookie,
where I think you're like, I think it's like, I think
then I didn't flip it.
No, you
so
did flip it.
So either Goblin
Bookie. I think
Bookie,
what you're doing is I think you're being like, I think you're thinking like too much about it. I think it's like pretty straightforward the way it works. You know what I mean?
Well, but it's important because of our commanders, because of the way they work, right? So either we take the result or we replace the result with Goblin Bookie, right? So either we get to do the first coin because you have to flip until you lose a flip, then you have to stop, right? So if we're going to count the result and I lost the flip, then the having to stop effect is in play. I get to reflip it, so I get an extra flip out of there, but the having to stop has not been erased. The having to stop is still on the table. Or we replace the whole flip and don't get any results whatsoever, and we just pretend it never happened.
Well, you'll have to ask a judge about that, I suppose.
Yeah.
Because I don't know.
We're also
really
talking about like doing things in the middle of effects. Like you can't do things in the middle of an effect resolving. Like you can't resolve part of the effect, like the actual coin flipping, but not the other half of the effect.
Right. But I would. Okay. So fair enough. So whatever. You'll have to ask Judge Chat when this comes up. But I mean, you could also just read it as like, yeah, just go ask Judge Chat. They'll know. They'll know. There you go. Yeah. So, anyways, but it's great. It's a great card in the deck because it'll save you a lot of times. It'll save the ones that you like. You won't really want to use it on those guys, anyways. You'll want to use it on stuff like your Goblin Archaeologist or things like that are going to make you sacrifice the creature that's flipping it. So if you lose that flip, you'll want to use Goblin Bookie to reflip it and hopefully save the creature, right? So that's what you're looking for there. Or again, there's a couple other things that like. You can flip a coin and then the thing will do no damage or it'll do double damage. Like, well, obviously we want to try and get that double damage. So that's what you'll be using your Goblin Bookie for most of the time. You won't really want to like use it to keep going with the Zndrsplt ones, unless I guess those are the only ones you have, in which case you might. But anyways, yeah, there it is. That's the deck. And I do honestly really recommend putting these silver border cards in the deck. I do believe that anyone who sits down with you to play Commander and you tell them you're playing your coin flip deck, I seriously don't think they're going to have a problem with you playing a couple silver border cards, simply because these are basically silver border commanders in the first place, right? Like
they sort of are.
You know, like flipping a coin is such a silly mechanic, and I know it's in mainstream like main Magic as well. But like, what's the difference between that and a die roll, anyways? Why aren't the die roll cards in Magic? Those are unsets for some reason. So,
right.
So really, for real, I think that these cards are totally fine to play in this deck. But let's take a look at the 3 stars. Let's take a look at which ones are the most effective. What's going to really help this coin flip deck really get the job done here. Really finish things off. I think that like most. Okay. We're gonna take it from 3 to 1 instead of from 1 to 3. That's the way we do it. But let's take a look at old Goblin Assassin here. It's the 3rd star. It's there it is. 3 and 2 red for a 2/2 Goblin Assassin. Whenever Goblin Assassin or another Goblin enters the battlefield, each player flips a coin. Each player whose coin comes up tails sacrifices a creature. So
or another Goblin.
Yeah. So, and this is not even under your control. Like, this is under anyone's control. So, like, every goblin has a chance for you to sacrifice it, including this one. So you might just play this guy and then it immediately dies. But the upside is if it lives, now whenever any goblin you put into play, because you're probably the only person with goblins unless you're running against Krenko or something. But now every other player will have to flip a coin as well and sacrifice a bunch of their creatures sometimes. So this is one of the meaner cards in the deck, and is definitely a main reason to run Krenko as well. So this is one of the payoffs for that. Although Krenko will also flip a coin to see whether or not he gets sacrificed. So hopefully you can get your Krenko down first before your Goblin Assassin. But make no mistake, this is a very strong card. Again, often just because of the very fact that it makes you flip coins on a large level, on a large scale rather. So yeah, Goblin Assassin is the third star of the deck. What is the number 2?
Number 2 star of the deck is Zndrsplt Cloak.
That's right.
Right. I can't find it on
That's okay.
our little tabs, but that's okay. We know what it does. It's a 3-mana artifact that equips for
2.
Equips for 2, and it has hexproof and is unblockable.
Shroud and unblockable, but yes,
Shroud.
that's my fault because
that's worse.
This is an audible I'm pulling for second star. It was actually going to be something else. Originally it was going to be Mana Screw or everything Majig, but and while those cards are definitely very powerful, Zndrsplt Cloak is just I think the thing you want first. Like, you want Zndrsplt Cloak so badly on Okaun that it just becomes a star of the deck. I think being able to protect it from spot removal and getting him through can't be blocked stuff is just so powerful. And finally, the number 1 star of the deck, this one, probably saw this one coming, is Krark's Thumb. 2 generic for a legendary artifact that says, if you would flip a coin, instead flip 2 coins and ignore 1. So, Sean, you can ask a million questions about whether or not how this affects Zndrsplt and Okaun's ability, whether or not those coin flips ever happened or not. I don't know. Just go ask a judge again. I say
I typed the question into Judge Chat. We'll see if
wicked.
the answer
Okay,
comes
great.
through
Sweet.
by the end of the episode. Yeah, Krark's Thumb is confusing for this. Well, no, and ignore 1. See, Krark's Thumb to me seems clearer because you're going to ignore 1.
Yeah.
It tells you straight up one of them doesn't count.
Right.
So you don't get credit for 2 flips. You get credit for 1 flip. You just get to choose the desired outcome.
If
you have.
See, I would say that this
outcomes.
is again telling you to ignore the result, not the fact that you flip 2 coins, because it says right in the rules, flip 2 coins. So you still get credit for the 2 coins flipping. You just get to ignore the results of one of them. Right?
Well, but
so like for the guys that care about how many coin flips happened, this doubles all your coin flips.
See, yeah, right? Like, I don't know. It's an interesting call, because ignoring 1 sounds like you're ignoring that the game didn't see 1 of them. That's what it sounds like it's saying.
It's possible. I do think it is just ignore the results, though. I think that makes a way more sense. But
well, that would be way clearer if they worded it that way.
Okay, so now let's get to the surprises and discoveries portion. There was one, and it's just because it has a sweet name, and it's Goblin Psychopath. 3 in a red for a 5/5 that says whenever Goblin Psychopath attacks or blocks, flip a coin. If you lose the flip, the next time it would deal combat damage this turn, it deals that damage to you instead. So this card isn't very good. Sometimes it just turns around and smacks you for 5.
Yeah.
But think of how much of a psychopath this goblin has to be considered a psychopath by other goblins.
Whoa.
Like, aren't goblins pretty nuts anyways? Don't they just launch each other into things, like, to do damage to stuff? Like, hey, wear this spiky armor on. I'm going to launch you into this guy. And you're going to die, but, like, it's better for us. And that goblin's like, yeah, man, no problem. Like, aren't they all pretty psycho? The fact that this one is like, oh, he's the psycho. Like, we don't mess around with him. Like, like, that's pretty cool, I think. And he's a 5/5 goblin mutant, which is neat as well.
The other ones are scared of him.
They are, definitely. This guy's a psycho. He's nuts. He'll turn around and smack you in the face with his giant club. The destruction he causes is nothing next to the chaos in his mind. The chaos in his mind is somehow way more chaotic than a normal goblin.
Oh boy.
This guy's crazy.
I imagine what is going through a goblin's mind at any given moment is a song by Crazy Frog.
What's Crazy Frog?
Do you not know Crazy Frog?
Is that the that's thing that's like on people's ringtones sometimes, like zip zip zip, like one of those guys?
I think that's kind of a Crazy Frog thing. The one that I don't know, he's like, for some reason all of his videos he's at soccer games. I feel like the football community, like I assume is like Europe or something, because he doesn't sing in language, he sings in like weird gibberish, so it works in any language. Yeah, like zip zip yeah, like whatever. Axel F is a very famous one. Yes, as far as I know.
Yeah,
that's him.
Yeah, man. Okay, I know that guy.
That's what a goblin's going on in their
that is the whole time. That music, and it will drive you crazy. So I'm not surprised that there's a goblin psychopath.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I mean, before we get to the budget report, we got to talk about Wizard's Tower again real quick.
Yeah. WizardTower.com. This is the best place to buy Magic singles, and all these Battlebond cards that we're talking about, Zndrsplt, Okaun, you can start pre-order, or you can start ordering them June 8th. That's what it says on the thing. Maybe that's when it gets sent. Let me double check that to see if you can start ordering them.
Yeah, like that's not a pre-release that happened this past weekend, right? Like that's the release, wasn't it? Yeah, June.
I think it was a pre-release.
Really?
Yeah, because I think June 8th is the official release, but you should be able to buy them before that online. It says Battlebond available June 8th. But can I buy it in advance? No, you can't buy singles in advance, but you will be able to buy it on June 8th. So keep an eye out for that.
Yeah, neat stuff. Get in there, grab your cool new Battlebond commanders and some sweet reprints. Go back and listen to episode 148. Yeah, the last one. The Battlebond set review, where we talk about all the cool reprints, all the cool new cards. Get those doubling seasons while the price is low-ish.
Yes.
Yeah, and I mean, there's all kinds of stuff happening. Corset 2019 is coming out. You can pre-order sealed stuff for that on Wizard Tower.
That's nuts.
And then also go to mtgcanada.com, which is their sort of content site, and you can find articles from yours truly, being both myself and Sean. Most recent article went up was mine, that was just all about the new partner commanders from Battlebond, just taking a look at each one of them, talking about their strengths and weaknesses and how they sort of fit into the commander landscape.
Wicked.
Cool. All right, well, let's get to the budget report. Yeah, all right.
So this is where we take all the cards and we flip coins on them and see which ones are worth buying and which ones are not worth buying.
Oh man, flip that coin, 50-50 shot, each and every one of them. So we got to talk about this here. So this deck is just under $50, $49.85. This was surprising to me. This was surprising to me quite a bit. I did not expect this deck to cost this much. I thought certainly this would be around a $40 deck. I thought this is, I thought we might maybe be able to sneak in a couple of $5 to even $8 cards in this deck. Well, we still managed to do that, which is great. However, as you may have expected from us sort of talking about it a little earlier, when these commanders were spoiled, the coin flipping cards went up in price by quite a bit, it seems, some of them.
Quite a bit.
Which is a serious bummer. Real serious bummer, because as you'll see in the out of budget section, there's quite a few cards. However, the budget report, we did manage to get it under 50, and we still managed to include some very important cards, like the most expensive card in the deck, Krark's Thumb.
Wow.
Yeah, Krark's Thumb. Oh, hold on. I seem to have messed up the tabs here. Yeah, Krark's Thumb is almost $10. It's like $8 now, according to the Goldfish, right? So that's a lot, and I don't know exactly how much it was before, but I'd be surprised if you told me it was more than $3 or $4.
Well, started at 2, shot up to 10.
Yeah, there you go. Right. So this was a $2 card, and like I understand it being $2 because A, it's only printed once, and B, it's like it's a real narrow card. So like, you know, this deck existed before, so people did want it, but it definitely not at the rate they do now. But now it's like I gotta think, because I've already the card's kind of coming down in price. Like it shot up to $10. It looked like for a couple of days, and already it's down like $2 from where it was. Like it's not $10 anymore; it's $8. So
yeah, I see a couple copies here that are lightly played or whatever for like 4 and 6. So it's like you can get it for way less.
Yeah, I think what's going on is I think it's stores going. I don't think it's speculators. It's very easy to just blame people speculating, but like those kind of speculators, I don't know if they spec this hard on these like really niche commander cards. You know what I mean? They might. It's possible. I mean, I know probably Jason Holt does, financial guru. But I kind of think it's probably just the stores themselves going, well, this will probably be worth a bunch of money now, so let's make it, I don't know, $10. And then as we're seeing that come down because they're like, oh, actually, no one wants to pay $10 for this card, so they're bringing it down already. So that's just the reality in which we live in. Quark's Thumb is $8, and it's the most expensive card in the deck. But I think it's just absolutely essential. You know, like you just got to have it. You can't run a coin flipping deck without the one coin that has like if you would flip a coin text on it. Like, you know,
yeah,
you have to have it.
You have to.
You got to.
Next most expensive card that also shot up was Karplus and Minotaur, the one where with cumulative upkeep of flip a coin. That one shot up a few bucks, not quite as bad though. It went from like $1.50 to $4, and it is also dropping a little bit.
Yeah, and the third most expensive card is one that has nothing to do with coin flipping, but has everything to do with the fact that there's not enough cards that flip a coin that are also cheap to put in a deck that are actually good, so I just had to start putting like generic good stuff in. So yeah, Mind's Dilation is in this deck. Of course it is. The 5 blue enchantment that's whenever an opponent casts his or her first spell each turn, that player exiles the top card of his or her library. If it's a non-land card, you may cast it without paying its mana cost. It's just a value sweet commander big enchantment that's in blue. That's just like, well, I needed more blue cards because there's very few blue cards in the deck also. So here,
in a sense, this you flip the top card of your opponent's library. So
sure.
This is very on theme.
Yeah, exactly. Like it's definitely on theme with the chaos element of things. So yeah, Mind's Dilation is just a sweet card. It's like $3.50. I mean, it was even cheaper than this a little while ago. It's gonna slowly go up. It's a mythic from Eldritch Moon, so go out and get them. They're so good.
So let's talk about the out-of-budget section. In addition to the cards we already mentioned, which we suspect are coming down, there's a couple of cards that were up before. I haven't done the research to find out if they if they shot up or if they were always up. But right now, Frenetic Ifrit's $10. 1 red, blue for an Ifrit, which is 2/1, and it has flying, and then has this ability: 0, flip a coin. If you win the flip, Frenetic Ifrit phases out. If you lose the flip, sacrifice Frenetic Ifrit.
So this is this is what we wanted out of Frenetic's Liver.
Oh, because it doesn't if it was on the battlefield.
So you can stack these ones.
Presumably someone did that with this card, and then they're like, well, now we figured out how to make sure that never happens again. We'll add the phrase if it's on the battlefield.
Exactly. This card is at $10.
I'm looking it up to see if it always was.
I know, me too. Yeah, Frenetic Ifrit. No, it wasn't. It was 5 cents, 50 cents, shot up to 20
because it's from Mirage,
and now it's coming back down to 10. But like this is a reserve list card, so this may well have been targeted by speculators. But this one does let you to flip 1 million coins if you want.
Yeah.
Right.
So if you have Karplus and Minotaur out, you can say, "I will flip as many coins as there is life on the table. One of us will die."
Well, that is not. Wait, no, you'd have to, because if we're both at 40.
Yeah. I'm going to put 80 coin flips on the table, and And
okay. I thought you were saying
targeting each
life
other
from one person. It's like,
no.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. There you go. Yeah. Frenetic Liver is weird, and if you do get Frenetic Liver, if you do have this card, there are websites out there that just say you type in how many coins you flip, and it'll tell you the results. You don't have to actually sit there flipping coins. If you say I'm going to flip 80 coins, you know what I mean? So,
wow.
So
that's your magic night, everybody. It's like, I'm flipping 80 coins.
Definitely
get your coins
definitely
out.
Go and look up one of those websites if that happens. So another card that's way out of budget is Chance Encounter. Again, because of this spike that's happening. Chance Encounter is an amazing card and definitely goes in this deck. It's 2 and 2 red. It's an enchantment that says whenever you flip a coin, put a luck counter on Chance Encounter. And at the beginning of your upkeep, if Chance Encounter has 10 or more luck counters on it, you win the game. This is straight up a win condition that you would include, or maybe not. Maybe you don't want to win the game this way. But but if you do, it's an $11 card now, so you got to be real dedicated to it.
Stop.
This is one that I actually don't mind not having in the deck, just because do I really want to win just because I flipped 10 coins, which is very easy to do in this deck? Don't worry about it. I'm not worried about Chance Encounter. Another one here.
Fiery Gambit, 2 and a red sorcery. This is our commander's ability. Flip a coin until you lose a flip or choose to stop flipping. If you lose a flip, Fiery Gambit has no effect. So it's one of those things where it's like you just keep gambling until you choose to stop, but if you ever fail a flip, then you get nothing for it. Mm-hmm. But if you win 1 or more flips, it does 3 damage to target creature. If you win 2 or more flips, it does 6 to each opponent. If you win 3 or more flips, draw 9 cards and untap all lands you control. That's really big.
That's a real
that
gambit.
Sounds huge, but that should indicate Magic was made by a bunch of math nerds, right? So they realize that getting 3 successful coin flips in a row without any thumbs helping you out is very difficult. It's so difficult that it's worth drawing 9 cards and getting all of your mana back.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, I think with this deck, I think you just go for it every time, because dealing 3 damage to target creature, it's fine. 2 or more flips, 6 damage to target opponent. That's not even that good in Commander. So
each opponent,
sure, okay, so whatever. It's still not that good. I wouldn't stop. I'm going for 3. Give me those 9 cards, because also 3 coin flips.
How tempting is that?
Because also 3 coin flips is just what you want anyways. You just want the coin flips. You don't really care about the results.
Well, right, and so I'll remind us all of the gambler's fallacy, right, where it is very difficult to flip 3 coins in a row successfully if you just look at it from a distance to be like, hey, do you think you can flip 3 in a row successfully? Very difficult. But if you've already flipped 2 successfully, the third one is no more likely to be a success or a failure. You're still at 50. So if you do get to the 2, then you got to go for the 3. It's a 50-50.
Everything was 50-50 anyways.
Yeah.
So Fiery Gambit. It's a great card because it flips you. Well, it doesn't necessarily flip you 3 cards or flip 3 coins, but it's just one that lets you do some stuff.
At minimum 1.
Yeah, and after this one,
Stitch in Time, 1 red blue sorcery. Flip a coin. If you win the flip, take an extra turn. Yipes.
Yep, that's just a straight up extra turn card. This one made it into a really late version of the deck, and finally I did just have to cut a bunch of I just had to cut $4 from it. So I was like, well, I guess Stitch in Time goes, because it's 1 coin flip, and the extra turn is obviously may or may not happen anyway. So this is not, even though it says flip a coin on it, it's not actually that good in the deck. And of course, I really wanted to include Ral Zarek, the planeswalker that cares about flipping coins. Well, doesn't care about it, he just does it if you ultimate him. But 2 and a blue and a red for a planeswalker with 4 loyalty that says +1, tap target permanent, then untap another target permanent. If your opponent had 1 blocker and you wanted to get Okaun through, that's something. -2, Ral Zarek deals 3 damage to target creature or player, sure. Or the -7, which is the one we like, which is flip 5 coins, take an extra turn after this one for each coin that comes up head. So it's just it's Stitch in Time, but 5 times, which is
I would
cool.
love, they were discussing when they were developing this card, and they're like, how many is enough coins to make this ultimate worth it?
Yeah, right, yeah. They had to, because you, 1 extra turn is not really that good of an ultimate for a planeswalker, right? So, you want to get at least 2 out of this. and I guess you had to make it 5 for that to like you're
2.5
probably
extra
going to
turns.
get 2 turns. Maybe.
Yeah.
So anyways, Rel Zarek, but guess what? Too expensive. He's still around $7. But like these are the cards that if you said, you know what, I'm going all out, I'm going to make a coin flipping deck, and I need all the coin flipping cards. These I would include every single one of these, for sure, because it's like at this point it is a thematic deck. It is not a deck that's going to be spiking you out competitive EDH wins. You're not going to go into EDH pods at your GP and win with this deck probably. It does have the potential for some explosive, like out of nowhere kills, no question about it. But can it roll with more like actually synergistic decks that actually, actually get the job done? Honestly,
probably not.
Flip a coin. There you go. That's how you know. Because half the time it's not going to do it, and half the time it will, which is, I think, perfect for obviously the coin flipping deck. So it is fun though. It is definitely fun to draw cards with Zndrsplt and try and make Okaun as big as you can. You need to have that support in there for Okaun, but once you do, it's it can do it. It can do it, but it also sometimes just falls on its face, I think.
Yeah, I wonder if there's I wonder in theory if it would be enough just to brew it around their ability alone. Like that's the only coin flipping is you're going to get one coin flip on your turn, and you just use like regular damage doublers and tramplers and extra combat effects and just all the blue, red, good stuff anyway, and just see how that runs.
Yeah, I definitely have the sorcery that what's it called? Like
Aggravated Assault.
Yeah.
Or is that?
No, that's the enchantment. I have the sorcery that lets you do it. Lets you attack extra. I also have the flash double damage.
Oh yeah, twin Dictator of the Twin Gods.
That's the one. Yep. Dictator of the Twin Gods. So we do have some flavors of that in there, right? And you do want that kind of stuff, obviously. But I think you're probably pretty right about that. I think that would be if you did want to get more consistent with the deck, obviously you'd rely less on 50-50 coin flips. I mean, really though, like these guys don't rely on the coin flip results. They just care about whether or not you flip the coin, right? I mean, I guess you need to win the flips, but like the more coin flips you get, the better, obviously.
Yeah, it's possible. Yeah, right. I mean, and that's like, so interesting. So a lot of stuff comes up, right? A lot of stuff talking about the inclusion of the occasional silver border card. Oh, by the way, we got a judge response to that, but Judge Chat is always difficult because I think he answered a slightly different question than what I was asking. The answer is, you can choose to use Bookie to reflip it and hope you don't lose again. But that doesn't say if you ignore the first one or not.
I mean, yeah, I know what you mean. He's kind of saying the same thing I was saying, which is like, you flipped that coin, you just didn't lose. So it's more about the result than anything. Like, I still think you flipped that coin. The game saw that you flipped that coin.
Yes.
It just didn't see the result of that one.
Well, I guess, I mean, maybe it's semantic, but I would argue that if the game saw a coin flip, part of flipping a coin equals a result. Otherwise, the coin is still in the air.
Yeah, I suppose.
Right. Like the act of flipping a coin includes its result.
Right, but I mean, these guys, you still need to win the flip, so like, it doesn't really matter. It's not like you're getting things just for the number of coin flips. So like, it actually doesn't even really matter. You reflip it, you only care about the result anyways. Like, well,
but the only reason it matters is because of that stipulation clause that says until you lose a flip. Right.
So, and you didn't get it, so you didn't. It doesn't matter. You didn't get the result, so it didn't even happen. So don't worry about it.
Well, okay. So now you're saying like this is the argument for like we will ignore the entire flip.
Well, yeah.
So
I mean,
we will get no positives or negatives until the bookie
if there's
goes
something
through.
that cares about that number of flips happened, it did happen. If there's something like Zndrsplt where all you care about is a result, then don't worry about it. That's me. Well, that's my advice to you. Okay. Lay back and don't even worry about it.
I won't.
You're running silver border cards in your commander deck, so it's okay.
But here's why I wanted to bring this up. I feel like what if there was I would like to think about a possible house rule where maybe every deck is allowed one silver border card as long as it is arguably on theme.
Oof. I mean, you right there. I feel like that's it's going to cause fights because arguably is in the eye of the beholder.
Well, but no one could argue that in this coin flip deck, everything in a jig is not on theme. No one has a leg to stand on.
Yeah.
Right?
But
and so this prevents you from just putting in infinite combo pieces that break rules for no reason. Right? If you're hey, look, it's got my thing's all about beasts and this is a beast. Right. It's okay, fine.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing. I think you would be you would have people finding corner things and it's well, this beast allows you to go infinite. And it's well, it's a creature. And I want creatures. It's is that theme? Is your theme creatures?
That to me is too weak of an argument. Your theme is not creatures.
Yeah, but now you spend your time arguing about it's just.
But you
just
know,
ask
right?
people if it's okay.
You know if you put it in to cheat or if you're just because it's so fun for this deck.
What?
Are you done?
No. No, we're not done.
You're still recording?
Yes. But we're coming to an end because that's basically the end of the show.
Ooh, so interesting.
Couple things, right? Couple weird things. The coin flips, the silver borders. Yeah, silver border cards. You know what? I really do think if you're a reasonable person, you can just go use them. You know if you're. It's what do they play? Unlimited resources, Grifter or Genius.
Oh yeah.
You kind of just have to go around your table and go, hey, look, guys, I have this silver border card in my deck, Grifter or Genius, and then if the Grifter wins the vote, then you can't use it.
Yeah.
That's kind of the way it is. Other people might just be into it and say Genius all the way.
Yeah.
I actually kind of like that rule for, and if you are running silver border cards in your decks, you do have to make sure you bring that back up just in case people are not okay with it, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, then I'll just put in this Zul'Faryn Void instead.
Yeah. Let's use Scry.
Yeah, let's use Scry 1 colorless land. All right, guys. Well, thanks for listening to this one. This was a fun deck to build. I haven't played it yet. I would like to play it, but the program we have that plays this Battlebond cards doesn't have Battlebond in it yet. Hopefully that'll change soon, but we'll report back. But in the meantime, if you actually get these cards and you actually build a deck, let us know how it goes. How did it go? How did it work out for you flipping a million coins? Did you use an app? Did you actually flip the real coins? I would assume you just use an app. It's going to be faster, I think.
Yeah, I want to hear from everybody who already built a coin flip deck and got all these cards before they shot up.
Ooh, yeah. And who was your commander then? Right? Who were you using? Were you even playing red-blue?
Yeah.
Maybe it was just mono red because it seems that most of the cards are just in red anyways. A couple in blue. Anyways, guys, thanks very much for listening this week. We'll catch you next week. There's a Brews news coming your way right away. But otherwise, we'll see you guys next time.
Bye.
Goodbye. Hey everyone, welcome to Brews News. I'm Andy.
And I'm Sean. This week, a very special interview with Slyn Voda. Over to you, Sean. Thank you, Andy and Sean. Here I am on set. I've got a sneak interview with Slyn Voda as he prepares for his next tour. Slyn Voda, thanks for taking the time to interview me. You're on a whirlwind tour right now, aren't you?
Yeah, the tour is coming to a close now, and it is a very good time for Slyn Voda.
So, what kind of places can we expect to see Slyn Voda and your amazing metal band?
Oh, we are playing at all of the most prestigious water parks as well as the aquariums. You can come to find us wherever you have a dolphin.
Great. Now, I personally want to ask the tough questions. How do you respond to the people saying that if you play your songs backwards, there's messages from the devil?
This is completely ludicrous. We don't have any messages if you play it backwards from the devil. You can get many messages playing it forwards from the devil. We have many messages from the devil himself to tell you to murder your parents, to leave school, to drown your mom and dad, to even just making a mess in when you go to restaurants. This is the way Slynvoda to live their life, and we like to promote anarchy. You can even make your own boat out of a log.
Okay, so can I be a fan for a second here? My favorite track of yours that you have is Cement Graveyards. Tell us what that's all about. The imagery's fantastic.
Yes. This song, Cement Graveyard, is about with the city and how people are buried under their own work. They are buried in their own buildings. A building is a tomb for the modern man. And he has already killed himself. And if you listen to Slynvoda, Slynvoda would tell you, never go in a building. Stay outside. There's no ceiling there. These are lyrics in the song even. These are also lyrics of the other song we have, which is called Outside is the Devil's Realm.
And what song are you most excited about on this tour?
We have so many songs I am excited about. Number one song I am very excited about is Bounce It to Your Hand. This song is about get out of here to authorities, to anyone who would have you doing what they want. Get out of my way. Another good one to have to listen to would have to be Clerics Can Go to Hell.
And I mean, I know what our favorites are, but like, can you give us a sneak peek of like which your encore song's gonna be? You know, the one we're most excited about.
This one, obviously, you're talking about the number one hit, the Kraken and Leviathan in the Merfolk. This is a song celebrating the people who have listened to Slynvoda from the start, and we have to pay back to those people. We have burning down the establishment of people who do not live in the sea.
What's one thing that Slynvoda is afraid of?
Slynvoda is only afraid of one thing. This is when you are in the bathtub and your water is getting too cold. Slynvoda like a nice warm tub, whether it's a hot tub or if it is a bathtub or if it is in a lake or a pond. This is the number one thing. It is not, your bubbles are gone and you need to pour the new hot water in. This is most hated.
Well, Slynvoda, it's been marvelous chatting with you. I can't wait to hear your tunes. I'm going to be the first to download it off of iTunes as soon as it drops. And I'm sure the fans are too. Thanks for having me here today.
The pleasure is all Slynvoda's. Just remember, you can also buy this from Slynvoda's website. And we have our own streaming capability. It is Slymvoda's. We have made a typo. And then, but then we are really capitalizing on it with the new ad campaign. With the real Slynvoda, please stand up. So it was beautiful to have been here.
Whoa.
It was so nice to have having met you, and best wishes.
Okay, thanks, Slynvoda. Back to you, Andy and Sean. Thank you, Sean. Well, I can't wait to download the new album from Slynvoda. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, he really rocks. I especially like the later years when he took the makeup off.
Yeah, and even if we didn't like it, I think we would have to say we did.
Yeah, definitely.
Anyway, we're all tapped out for the week, so we pass the turn to you. Good night. If you want to contact us, I'm at Sean Tabaris.
And I'm at Andy Holbone.
Send us an email at commandersbrew@gmail.com.
You can find out when we go live on Twitch if you follow us at twitch.tv.
And if you care to support us on Patreon, check us out at patreon.com.
And you can find our deck list on tappedout.net.
And if we forgot anything, commandersbrew.com.